All right, welcome everyone to Monday's live stream for this new trading week. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully everyone can see my screen as well. Let me actually make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, perfect. Well, what's up guys? Hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, I think you guys can hear me. Hopefully the music isn't too loud. All right, well then, let's first start off right away with the markets. So as expected, the markets bounced pretty well right off the bat at market open. And if you guys are a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report, you guys should know that we were expecting this. Right? We'll be seeing a bunch of shorts from over the weekend from last Friday's small pump to the upside end up closing the positions at market open this morning. And on the other side of the aisle, we were starting to see a bunch of buyers already positioning themselves in the morning in pre-market to buy and bid the price up higher. And that's exactly what we got as we quickly filled in this gap down area right here. Okay, so to me, this signifies that that buyers are still very much in control at specific demand areas and specific support levels. For instance, we've been seeing a lot of good demand in between 675.50 to 680. There's been a lot of positive gamma forming around this 680 level, and there's just been a lot of very good support and defensive buying at that, right? So defensive buying at 675.50 to 680. Okay, so again, I've given you guys 4 specific levels on the S&P 500 ETF, right? 694, 686, 675.50, and 670. These 4 levels have been very significant and prevalent throughout the last, let's see, around. I would say around, well, not even just around. It has been 4 months. 4 months of sideways action. All right, so if you go all the way back to November of last year, we can still clearly see that the price has continued to use these 4 levels as major areas of resistances or support. Okay, so that's something that you guys should know. Now, on this 4-hour time frame, as in here, right, on the S&P 500, it seems like we're just getting. Okay, we're back. Okay, we put it again about this damn connection here. As I was saying, the S&P 500 was making a massive rising wedge here that eventually concluded to the downside. But again, there's a lot of demand and defensive buying that has been going on from 675.50 to 680, right? And so hopefully, guys, let me see. I think. Is my audio fine, guys? Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Anyways, so as I was saying, you know, the bears really tried to come in, and the shorts came in at the supply area or level at 694 and try to push the price lower. But again, the 675.50 to 680 has been a huge area of demand and a defensive buying area that I think, you know, as we've been seeing with the sideways action, it just has been really impossible for sellers to try to confirm the formation of this massive rising wedge, right? That took about 3.5 months to form, or about 3 months to form at the very least now. And so what has happened as an alternative pattern is that we've been moving sideways after the fact that we've moved out and away from this rising wedge. And this sideways action for the entire month of February has resulted in the formation of this current wedge chart pattern, right, as you see here. Right, I've just drawn it for you guys here before my connection was interrupted. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome. Make sure you guys hit that like button and smash those emojis in the live chat room. Okay, all right, so oh, there it goes. I see it there. All right, awesome. Happy to see you guys in here. So you know, I think this wedge will continue to form. Unfortunately, wedges are, if you guys didn't know, they are a neutral chart pattern, which means that they can either facilitate a breakout to the upside or facilitate a breakout to the downside. It just all depends on how the price decides to move once we get near the convergence points of these two trend lines, right? This ascending support trend line, okay, and then this descending resistance trend line. So it might be around the 686 level. So again, that simply means that we could be seeing even further sideways action as the market continues to move sideways, forming this this not really massive, but this relatively small wedge chart pattern, right? And again, a wedge is a neutral chart pattern. It's not inherently a bullish or bearish chart pattern. So that is what we can be expecting for the next couple of days. Now, here's one thing, right? So right now we have this geopolitical event, right? I mentioned this in the market summary last night, but I want to tell this to you guys publicly for everyone else that's watching this public stream. So there's a pretty good way to understand how the markets will be moving based on one simple commodity that currently rules the global economy. And what would that be, guys? It's not gold, it's not silver. What could it be? Let me know in the chat room down below. What could it be, guys? Again, it's not these usual safe haven commodities like gold and silver. Okay, it could be. What could it be, guys? Let me know if anyone's here. Oh, you guys are here. Okay, I see. I saw you guys' reactions there. Anyone? Hey, do nothing. What's up? Oil. Yes, that is correct. Right, crude oil. So crude oil prices, it's a very volatile commodity that unfortunately rules the overall global economies and just. It's a mess, right? When a society decides to depend so heavily on such a volatile energy source, right? And there's a lot of layers to that. What I can say, I mean, even this, if I disregard politics, the oil itself as a commodity is just it just has a lot of negative impact on humanity, is what I would say. Even if I weren't to go into the environmental sciences aspect of that, since again I actually was really deep into environmental science, and I used to take some classes in college for environmental science, and I even did APES, if you guys know what that is, AP environmental science. But yeah, a little background on me on that. But so when it comes to oil, okay, if you take a look at CL or crude oil futures, okay, we can kind of see where the markets can start to go in the next couple of days or even just the next couple of weeks. Because again, what did President Trump has stated yesterday, just last night? Well, he stated that this war campaign on Iran can last for about 4 weeks or about a month. And usually when dumb presidents like Trump can say stuff like that, where they say that, oh, it could last this long, we can already assume that it could last a lot longer than that. And so when it comes to such vague statements like that from an elected leader that is very incompetent, we can expect to see the markets basically giving us what we should be focusing on, right? And the markets will definitely be focused, just extremely focused, not just focused on crude oil prices. And so we want to be looking at, so again, do nothing, very good job. The crude oil futures or CL here is very interesting to see, because if crude oil prices are beginning to go lower, then overall risk on equity can actually start to move up higher, right? Equity prices can move up higher, and vice versa, right? So if crude oil futures or crude oil prices start to move up higher, then we'll start to see the overall equity prices go down. Does that make sense, guys? And again, this usually works during heightened times of geopolitical tension. Does that make sense, guys? Please let me know if that makes sense in the chat room. right? So as I said before we began this the stream, right? Let's learn something tonight together, right? So this is something that you guys should know, right? So when we had these increased high volatility in overall markets, but not just in the overall markets, but in global geopolitical tensions, crude oil tends to be a major commodity that you guys want to be looking at, right? It's not gold or silver. Yes, they can have their own little relationship and inverse relationships with the overall equity markets, but crude oil tends to be a very, very key sign that you want to be looking at during a conflict, right? A geopolitical conflict that involves, you know, bombs, missiles, and, you know, especially in the Middle East, right? And we know what the Middle East is famous for, all right? They're not famous for the hot temperatures, deserts. They're known for the oil, right? And again, I can go on and on about how volatile oil is as an energy source and how we should really start to stray away from it. But you know, humans, we tend to be very stubborn, and we think, you know, we only think in short term, right, time frames. So anyways, I don't want to go off on a tangent too much there, but you know, this is something that you guys should be looking at, crude oil futures. I wanted to give it a little short lesson here on that. It's a very simple relationship with risk on equity markets and crude oil prices. But to further develop my little lesson here for you guys, what you want to be looking at is crude oil prices staying below this massive level, right? So this $72 level has been a huge area of resistance for multiple years. And if it breaks out over $72, that's pretty much going to be a huge signal that, hey, we need to be a bit risk off for now. Because if we start to see crude oil prices, and even just natural gas prices, guys, that is not a good sign, right? It could be most likely indicating that there's going to be a lot of frequent, not just frequent, but just massive potential supply shocks incoming for the short to mid-term future, or I could just say immediate future, right? Since we are quote unquote expected for this conflict to quote unquote last for 4 weeks, as our incompetent president has said in the United States. Okay, so with that being said, okay, hopefully this information is not too heavy, but yeah, so far tonight, crude oil futures has been rising, right? And so guess what? If you take a look at the S&P 500 futures, right, we can clearly see that futures is having a little bit of a consolidation moment after today's price action, right, after today's close. And if it's going to load here, there we go, right? So, you know, this is the type of action that we're trying to get, right? So we need to be sensitive about where we're looking at with our eyes, right? We can't just be focused on the markets. There are clear indications of where to look at it, especially again when we have these heightened tensions, these geopolitical tensions. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it from what I wanted to tell you guys. And kind of, if you guys didn't know about stuff like this, I mean, the reason why I know about this is that we've been through multiple geopolitical events where we have seen a huge jump in geopolitical tension overnight in the past, well, for me, for the past 8 years now, 8+ years. So, you know, it's interesting to see how crude oil is going to behave in this new era of geopolitical conflict as we head into, especially as we head into the end of, excuse me guys, into the end of the decade. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, and last but not least, as I always want to go over now when I do these streams before I move on to more of the individual stocks, I want to look at the VIX, okay, and especially the VIX futures. Okay, actually, let me just take a look at the VIX futures first to see how they're reacting so far. Okay, so S&P 500 futures are down negative 0.63%, and if it's gonna load for me here, that'll be nice. Oops. I just have to press that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so there you go, guys. So VIX futures are up again, and as long as it continues to stay at these levels here, right? We obviously the VIX futures have kind of been moving they have been moving sideways, which makes sense, right? There's the volatility index of the S&P 500, right? So, you know, for VIX futures here, as long as it stays above this 21 value, right? This value of 21, it's gonna be you just have to be cautious, right? Because we have been making higher highs and higher lows. I've mentioned this plenty of times in the previous streams, okay? And it's going to be interesting to see how we react tomorrow as well, as we continue to get even more geopolitical news overnight. And we've been getting a lot more news after hours as well, after the market closed today. So it's going to be interesting to see how the VIX continues to move throughout this first week of March. Because again, as I've stated in the CFO Swinger Watch Report's market summary, which again, this is only for my readers and members of the CFO Swinger Watch Report. I'll briefly summarize this, guys. But I just said that the seasonality of March tends to be very bullish, but based on the current condition of the overall markets and the overall economy and the overall geopolitical tensions that we've been seeing, there can be some volatility expansions and contractions simultaneously, right? We could be seeing, not simultaneously, but subsequent, right? Back-to-back contractions and expansions, depending on which week we're looking at. And obviously, I have a lot more details on that in the report itself. So again, if anyone is watching right now and they want to become, and you guys are intrigued, potentially intrigued at what I'm saying here, and if you guys want to learn more about what the CFO Swinger Watch Report is and this newsletter, please click on the link down below. It's the second link. All right, just click on the second link down below. All right, just click on it, and you guys will be transported to another website, which is my CFO Swinger Watch Report newsletter website. Okay, and it could, hopefully, it's supposed to be, but hopefully that website can answer more of your questions there. If you guys want to join us and become a reader of the very insightful CFO Swinger Watch Report newsletter. Okay. But yeah, so that is it for the overall market review for tonight. And let's go over my specific ticker that I want to go over tonight, and that is FRP. Okay, so well, if it's gonna load. Oh no, oops, not FRP. I meant, one second. I'm having a little brain fart here. FPS, sorry. FPS is what I meant. I don't know why I was thinking FRP. Yeah, I was thinking about FRPT, maybe? Fresh Pen? Okay, yeah, so FPS. So this is a relatively new, well, it is a new IPO, obviously, but it's also a relatively new company. And they are really just head first. they're directly head first going into data centers, right? AI data centers. They're going to kind of the overall utility area, right? Industrial area as well. Building out stuff that is required for the overall AI infrastructure, right? So they're kind of they got their hands in quite a lot of different things that are obviously directly related, even just indirectly too, related to AI and the overall AI infrastructure build out. But FPS here, Forge and Power Solutions, have focused a majority of their attention to data centers, and they're kind of capturing their revenue through their data center build out. And so I haven't really looked too deeply into the company here, because again, this is just on the list part section of the CFO Swinger Watch Report. Again, the list is the Momentum Mentions list. Maybe next week I might even use this ticker as the official trade idea for next week. But again, I only use this because of the technicals of this ticker, and look at how beautiful it looks, right? So I actually want to go over this, what I've written here for everyone last night in the CFO Swinger Watch Report. So let's read it out together, right? So this one is a recent IPO, and that has been getting some attention. There's a reason why, right? This company is yet another company playing with the energy needs that AI demands. Its revenue mainly comes from data centers, as I've said a couple of minutes ago, the grid and industrial sectors. Technically, it looks absolutely amazing. If you guys remember what I've said about IPOs, the price actually can get very volatile in a good way if you can capture it on the right side, e.g. FIGR, right? If you guys take a look at that. Right, I actually mentioned FIGR before its massive breakout. Obviously it looks horrible now, but I'm talking about before, right? And as seen here on the fresh daily time frame, we are faced with a tightly consolidating IPO, which is a great but unusual sign to see. I don't know where sign went. Let me actually fix that if I can. Hey, what's up guys? Hello. Welcome in. For anyone who's just joining in now, make sure you guys watch the replay as usual. Okay, so now where was I at? Oh yeah, so this has caused a small ascending triangle chart pattern to form. And in fact, it's a very tight ascending triangle chart pattern. Now, since IPOs trade so widely and in a very volatile manner, a tight consolidation pattern this early on means that a potential large directional move is coming very, very soon. And that move may be over that first resistance level that stock has ever made, the $35 whole number level that you see here clearly on this red horizontal line. And if it breaks that, then we are headed for consistent new all-time highs. Now, the reason why I say consistent new all-time highs is that, well, first of all, when we broke over today with good amount of volume today so far. I mean, this is such a fresh chart pattern or chart that we don't have the average daily volume yet. Okay, so that should tell you guys something. The fact that we've already made such a very nice looking chart pattern, you know, with the lack of history and price action, right? But the fact that we made such a tight price action and trend and a chart pattern, right? This tells us that there is an opportunity here. And when we are seeing such a tight price action underneath a major resistance level, it just makes sense that if we start to have an overall net directional move to the upside, we can be seeing consistent new all-time highs, right? Even just day by day, right? We've seen this, and again, I gave an example here, FIGR. Right? So for FPS here, the story is there and the technicals are there. Obviously, I don't know much about the fundamentals because I didn't go into it. But again, just for the sake of this stream, right? And maybe again, for any of the readers watching the stream now, I will maybe most likely we'll try to add this in next week's trade idea for next week's CFO Swinger Watch Report. But again, you know, I think this is a good idea that you guys should be looking at for this week. Especially if you guys have no idea what to trade. This one already has liquid options available, but I would highly recommend you guys to just focus on the equity on this one. I mean, it's an IPO. They can get very volatile. And hey, yes, you can trade options on such a volatile name. In fact, you might be actually having some very good returns on option contracts on the premiums because of the fact that the underlying share price moves in such a volatile manner, right? But then the underlying risk comes as well due to the underlying share price action. Does that make sense? Okay, that was a mouthful, but hopefully that made sense. Yes? Okay, I see you guys' reactions there. Okay, so yeah, I hopefully you guys can take a look into this FPS ticker or Fortune Power Solutions. I think it's a very well, there's been a plethora of these companies that are basically almost doing the same thing as other companies, as their peers. I mean, even crypto miners, right? They're transitioning to a hybrid model where they have their crypto miners essentially being used as a data center, right? Because of how much high computing power that they have, right? Especially when they're not using most of their miners to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever cryptocurrency that they're mining, right? So they can lease those miners out, right? And to be as data centers, right? To act as data centers. But again, we're seeing a lot of these different companies, and again, we should be seeing a lot of different companies doing the same thing, providing the same service, providing the same constructions that contributes to the overall AI infrastructure. And eventually, maybe by the beginning of the next decade, we can start to see some consolidation occurring in this specific area. Does that make sense, guys? So again, you guys have to kind of start thinking outside the box and further into the future like that, right? And that's kind of what we do here at Charts Focus One, and what I do in the CFO Swinger Watch Report, and the reason why readers always find it so valuable to have this weekly newsletter that comes into their inbox, where I'm practically giving you guys kind of a roadmap as to what the markets could be doing in the next trading week, and kind of the highest probability of what the markets could be doing, along with a top-down market analysis with complete trade plans that you guys can literally act on, right? These are actionable trade ideas, right? It's not just ideas, but they're actionable trade ideas. I give you guys a 3-point game plan on specific game plans in the report, along with option contracts as well that you guys should be looking at. Does that make sense? So again, if that type of report aligns with your goals, I really highly recommend you guys to try this out for at least a month. I mean, I really don't think that you guys can lose out on much just for trying this out for a month. And again, hey, if you don't enjoy the pace of the information that I give you guys, or if you guys don't think that the information provided in the report really aligns with what you guys do with your own trading, then you guys can unsubscribe, right? At the very least, you guys were able to learn something, right? And again, it's actually kind of hard to to not be able to relate to the report and actually use it as an actual actionable report, because again, that's kind of the entire goal of the report. But again, if you guys find it that way, that it's not actionable, or if you guys don't really find it as valuable, well, at least you guys tried it out for a month, and hopefully during that 1 month you guys are actually able to learn some stuff that you guys had no idea about trading and before you guys joined. All right, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I really want to just give you guys this this overall market outlook after today's price action, and give you guys this hidden AI energy play, right? Because again, it's relatively unknown. I mean, it is an IPO. I know IPOs are usually hawked by specific IPO traders who love the volatility that comes with, especially right after, well, on the day of IPO, right? They either start to short or buy, right? But again, this is like a one in well, not even just one. It's just a huge opportunity in a lifetime when you start to see these type of price action and chart formations on an IPO where it's just moves so tightly, right? Because IPOs are usually very volatile in the first year, I would say, right? But this one has already moved such tightly in a manner where it was able to form a very, very textbook ascending triangle chart pattern. And the fact that we've already had a nice breakout, a textbook breakout over its neckline resistance level at $35 here is such a beautiful sight to see, right? And again, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, I would say. Right? I will say that, yeah, opportunity of a lifetime as an IPO. Okay, you don't get this often, all right? And yes, we did get it on FIGR, right? But again, you know, I think getting this new IPO and the fact that we were able to see a nice breakout over 35, and obviously my entry point at over 35.10 today is absolutely amazing. Okay, so please make sure you guys watch this for the rest of the week, right? I mean, I think there is a good opportunity here. All right, I mean, again, just to even convince you guys even more to just at least watch it. I mean, during the tightening process here, right, the sideways coiling action, the volume died down so well as well, right? Again, such an overall textbook formation of a chart pattern here, right? We see this nice stair-stepping move down of the dying volume, and the nice ascending higher lows of the price action, and obviously the tightening coiling action at the upper end of this overall ascending triangle chart pattern, right? And then eventually today, we had a nice burst in volume that accompanied with this breakout over $35. So that clearly says that, hey, whoever was at this $35 level here, the seller or sellers, they got pushed out, right? As the price decided to break over 35 and had a massive quick move to a new all-time high price point of $36.68, beating out the previous all-time high price point right here at $35.80. Okay, so again, that's kind of my summarized, succinct conclusion as to the reasons why I think you guys should be having ticker FPS, this new IPO, on your watch lists this week. Okay? Again, you guys don't have to trade it, but hopefully you guys can actually look at this and, hey, realize that, hey, Andrew was right. This one could be an actionable trade idea. Just like, again, like with any other CFO Swinger Watch Report. Again, I really think that you guys should try us out. Try this report out for 1 month. I think you guys can really, not just I think. Oh, okay, we're back. Again, I truly believe that that you guys can really gain some value and applicable information out of this report every single week, and just try us out for a month. Right, I can highly guarantee you guys you will learn something, and even if you don't, you guys will have an access of really good looking trade ideas every single trading week. Right, you guys won't have to spend so much time digging through the charts, digging through, you know, different sectors, different groups, leading groups, lagging groups. Yeah, I do all that for you. Okay, really interests you guys, please check us out. Use the second link down below in the description box. Click on it and subscribe using whatever tier that you guys want to use. Again, all that information of the different tiers are in the website itself, so make sure you guys read through them carefully. Okay? Yeah. So thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. You're very, very kind as always. So yeah, so guys, if you guys really want to join us, I really highly recommend you guys try us out, right? And if you guys, here's the thing, I'll do this for you guys tonight. If you guys are really interested in joining, and if you guys are serious about joining us and becoming a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report, DM me on Instagram at ChartsFocus1, and I give you guys a personalized discount code for 1 month, so you guys can try us out for 1 month at a discounted price. Okay, I can do that for you guys, right? So all you need to do is DM me on Instagram. My handle is at ChartsFocus1. If you guys don't know how to spell it, well, you guys should be able to spell it because it's on YouTube here on the stream, right? At ChartsFocus1. I have the same handle. Use that handle, look me up on Instagram, directly DM me, right? Give me a DM, a direct message, and I'll give you guys a personalized discount code for 1 month to try us out for 1 month. And I'm only going to give this out to people who are really looking to be serious with their trading, and the fact that you guys are willing to join and see what we do here, and if you guys can actually learn from this report, as I've been saying all night. Okay, so again, if you guys are serious, make sure you guys DM me on Instagram at ChartsFocus1, and I'll give you guys a discounted rate for 1 month, right, depending on what tier that you guys want to choose. Okay, so just DM me, right, and say that, hey Andrew, I want to join tonight. I would love to have a discounted rate for 1 month. Okay, so just let me know on Instagram, and I'll happily provide it for you guys. Okay, all right, well, that was it for tonight, guys. I mean, hopefully the stream again was very, very interesting, fun, and most importantly, applicable. All right, I'll see you guys on Wednesday at the same time at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck tomorrow.